I'm dreaming in dreams bigger than me, taking my time, giving to me, paint my life into a masterpiece, coloring it how I want it to be.
All right, before I get started on this, just gonna show you the ink colors that I am probably going to use. I say probably because I may not use all of them, not entirely sure yet what I'm going to end up using, but these were the most fall-like colors that I had. So, what do we got here? Got the Tim Holtz Ranger, Mojito, Sepia, Sunshine Yellow, Crimson, and Valencia. I will also be using Pinata Brass and this little squeeze bulb thing from the Tim Holtz line of alcohol ink products. I also just have a couple of small paintbrushes laid out because I'm probably going to use brushes on the raised part of this, and I may have to use them down in some of these small crevices. And then got my little tool you all have seen me use a bunch. Don't know what it is, but it works. So, and my 99% or 99.9% isopropyl alcohol. All right, well, I'm going to get started on this. We'll see how it's going to turn out. Yeah, I've gone through about 20 different ideas of things that I want to do, you know, different ways of doing it, different places for colors to go. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right. Well, I'm just going to speed this up for you all because this is probably going to take me a while. This thing is rather big, and I may chime in occasionally, letting you kind of know what I'm doing if I had an issue somewhere or anything. But other than that, I'll see you on the other end. All right, almost immediately I ran into an issue. So you'll see as I'm spreading the ink a little bit, it kind of splatters out from where I want it, or I dripped a little somewhere. Okay, it's stained really bad, like worse than it would stain on Yupo. And I had used like the cheapest white craft paint that I could find to paint this with, which was probably, one of my mistakes. Probably shouldn't have done that. I mean, it's like one of those 50-cent bottles of craft paint. But I didn't have anything else to do with it, so I didn't want to spend much money on it. Just wanted to get a couple of layers down on this. First, I only put 2 coats on it, which was not enough. I should have put a third, but it was really getting on my nerves. I have to admit, it was annoying me trying to paint around all this raised area on it. It was just driving me crazy. I completely destroyed a paintbrush trying to do all that. But you'll see some of these little splatters, I would try to wipe with a paper towel, and it was doing nothing. So I tried to clean one. I haven't quite gotten to where this happens yet, but you'll know it when you see it. I tried to clean one with a little bit of alcohol. That I think it was that splatter right there. I'm not sure. But I tried to clean one with some alcohol, and it started taking the paint off, the white paint off. Well, I've never used like acrylic craft paint. Well, I've used it before, but I have never used it as a bottom layer for an alcohol ink painting. I have heard a lot of people say that, yeah, you can do that. You can use the acrylic craft paint. At least if I have, I don't remember doing it. So, I don't know. I would be very wary now of telling people, yeah, you can use it, because I don't know if the more expensive, better craft paints would be better than this or not. So anyway, also I did not get glossy. That may have been a big part of the problem. I just, was in a hurry, grabbed a bottle of the cheap white craft paint, paid for it, left the store. So, yeah, didn't even pay attention. The glossy might do better. This was just a plain matte, nothing kind of craft paint. So, therefore, I would recommend either try the glossy if you're going to do something like this, or use the Kilz 2 or Kilz 3 that I would recommend using on canvas. It pretty much everything's going to stain, but some things don't stain nearly as bad as others. And this stained really, really bad. I mean, it turned out okay in the end, but I mean, I did have some issues with, trying to hide things and cover it up a little bit. But I did manage to get most of it, unless you just are looking for those spots. Now that it's done, I did manage to get most of that covered up. So, all right. Also, what would have helped, putting another coat of paint on, I think would have helped with another issue I had, is the inks would bleed a little here and there out from under these little spots that you see me, or just saw me, putting the ink in then. The inner part of the cutouts, it would kind of absorb into the wood or something. I don't even know. I think that's what it was doing. I think there was just enough airspace under the cutout part that the ink was running under, and where there was no paint to seal it at all under there, it was soaking into the wood and kind of spreading out into the center part. Now, I don't know if you all can even see it in the video. I mean, I could see it very clearly with the naked eye, but in the video, I'm not sure. So, yeah, those are some things to keep in mind if you do this. This was really fun. It was really time consuming. I was very surprised at how long it took me. I have this video speeded up something like 12 times the speed. And, the video is still 15 minutes long. But there wasn't any real specific techniques here. It was just, deciding on colors, dripping some ink and some brass, and blowing it with my little bulb blower there. I wouldn't recommend using the hairdryer for this, because I did have to be very gentle with the bulb. I a few times, forgot and squeezed a little too hard and splattered ink where I didn't, color where I didn't want it to be. But it turned out all right in the end. But just saying, I don't think I would use the hairdryer for this. And some of the spaces are just too small. You wouldn't be able to get the directed airflow like you need to blow stuff in a certain direction. Now, I tried things a couple of different ways on this too. You'll see right here, I'm mixing some brass in, because I noticed with the very tiny spots, the brass completely took over. When I want it to float, I can't get it to float. When I don't, it does. And it just completely took over and was just all brass behind that. And so I tried mixing it with the, I already forgot what color I was using, because I actually did this about a week ago. I've totally forgotten the color now. Sepia, I think. Anyway, you'll see I tried mixing it, and it still was kind of taking over. So once that brass had settled, I tilted up my little cup that I was using there with the ink in it to try to get some of the brass out of the ink I had squirted into that with it, where I could get mostly just the sepia to put on there, and try to, tone down a little of the brass so you could actually see the color. All right, I think that right at the moment, that's about all of the issues or the major issues anyway, that I think that I had with this. Yeah, so I'll just, oh, you'll see there, I did not put any brass on the top part, the raised part there. I just used straight up ink, and I did not want to try and drip it on with the bulb because I knew it would just, or, blow it with the bulb. It would just go everywhere. So that's why you see me using a paintbrush to do the raised parts with. And I did, oh, you actually can kind of see now where it had bled out from under the side of the pumpkin. You can see that a little bit on there, on this. And I'm sorry, I know the light changes a little on this. I did this over the course of a few days, just working on it whenever I had a few minutes to get it out and work on it. So the lighting shifts and changes, and it's a little bit different here and there. So, and after I think it's after, I don't think I showed it on this, I actually went back and put another coat of sepia over it and darkened up the background more. And I liked it a lot better. I do think it looked better once I had gotten that background a little bit darker than what it was with just one layer. Plus, it helped hide a little bit some of the splatters and where it had bled out there at the by the pumpkin, because that was the worst place. You actually can see there by those green leaves that are up higher than where I'm working, right there, right in there, where it bled a little green out from there too. But the extra layer of the sepia helped to hide that. All right, so I am going to be quiet now and let you all just watch the rest of the video. I do appreciate you watching, and have at it. Give it a try. It's pretty fun. It's just something you can do with your alcohol inks if you want to decorate for holidays, or just something that's not holiday. Just give you another idea of some way you can use your inks. All right, see you guys in a few minutes. All right, well, we're coming up on the end here, and I'm just going back in and touching up some of the spots where it wasn't dark enough, or maybe I had missed it a little bit, could still see too much white. So I just wanted to jump back in real quick and say thank you to you all again for watching this. I really appreciate it, especially those of you who have been subscribers of mine for a few years now. Some of you I know are still with me, who have been here for a long time, pretty much since the very first video I posted on this channel. But I appreciate you people who are just joining me just now. I love every one of you, and I really appreciate the time you take to watch my videos. And I will see you in the next one. You guys have a great day. I love you all. Bye.